Okay, so here goes nothing. This will be like the third time I'm trying to record this vlog. So, the first time I cut off like this much of my face. The second time my mother called, let's see if my aunt calls while I'm doing this one. And sorry, that was me. I jiggled my camera without trying. I actually have it sitting on the back of my sofa here, so that's that's why I was able to make it jiggle. Um, so I wanted to do this on returning to work, but it was like returning to work. I haven't seen this covered as far as what it is like after you've had a loss. So I hope the lighting in here is okay. Anyway, I'll try to stay on topic. Um, so on returning to work, I think I went back to visit my coworkers. I didn't return, but I visited my coworkers about, I would say, 3 weeks after I had Deanna. Um, I took my memory box with all of her things in it with me when I did that. Um, the office that I work in, I'm very lucky in the fact that the people that I work with they're good people. And we care about each other, and it's a good place to work. And I know not everybody has that kind of environment to work in. So I'm very lucky. I'm not trying to brag. That's just the environment that I'm in. So anyway, the when I showed up with all my stuff, it went really well. In fact, a lot of my coworkers had missed me. They heard me laughing at the front of our office, and they had missed hearing my laugh, they said. And because they heard me laugh, they all came running to the front of the office, and they all wanted to hug me. They made this line, and I had to hug them all, which I was happy to do. And one of my coworkers is pregnant. She is a trimester behind where I had been. So I was due in March and she's due in July. So I knew that I was going to see her. I didn't know how that was going to go. Having lost my baby, I didn't know what it was going to be like to see her, but it actually went really, really well. I couldn't have asked for it to go better, I don't think. I was very pleased because I was able to talk to her, and not just talk to her, but I was able to talk to her about her pregnancy and her baby without me feeling uncomfortable. I was hoping that she wasn't uncomfortable either. I think she was uncomfortable just because she didn't know how I was going to react and how I was going to be. So I think that's why it had been hard for her. So that went well. I also saw some other people in some other departments before I left. In fact, I got there sometime around 2 o'clock in the afternoon and didn't leave until 5:30. So that's how good it was to see everyone. And then I went back one more time. I went back the day before I actually did return to work to just pop in and say hi. And of course, that ended up being several hours too. So I'm just good at talking, and so are the people I work with. Um, but I love them. Anyway, I went back 6 weeks after I had my stillbirth. I went back on a Friday. And that might seem weird to go back on a Friday since my regular work week is Monday through Friday. But I actually ended up really liking going back on Friday, and the reason why is because that helped me to get my feet wet. Friday usually is not the busiest day of the week, and so it was good to ease back into work. And plus, going back to work on Friday, then you have your 2-day weekend, and then go back to work on Monday and have a full work week. And it just, doing it that way was a good way to do it for me. I don't think I would change how I did it as far as when I went back goes. When I did go back at 6 weeks, I felt ready to go back. Being home didn't seem to be good for me anymore, and so it was really good for me to go back. I wasn't doing anything here at home, nothing useful, and I think I needed routine back. So going back to work helped to get me out of my rut that I had fallen into. What else do I want to say about it? Oh, of course. I went back to work, since I had been 31 weeks pregnant, a lot of people that weren't keeping track of how pregnant I was had asked me after I came back, "Oh, how's your baby?" So then I would have to explain to people that my baby died, and that was hard. What made it hard, weirdly or oddly enough, is not my feelings, but having to tell them and watch them process the fact that my baby died and that I went through that pain. Watching other people do that was what was hard about it for me. And then having to deal with them being sorry for me. It's not that I don't want to talk to her, or talk about Deanna. I want to talk about Deanna. It's just that a lot of, sorry, I went out of frame, I'm sure. It wasn't just that I don't want to talk to her. Oh boy, I'm butchering this, aren't I? I like to talk about my daughter. My daughter is special to me, and I want to believe that what happened, that something good is going to come out of it. It was a horrible, awful thing. I need something good to come out of it. And actually, there already has been good that has come out of what has happened. And I think I talked about that a little bit in my first vlog. I can't remember for sure. Anyway, it was really, really hard. I've had a few times where it was exceptionally hard, and not even necessarily because of things that I thought I would encounter. In fact, probably because I didn't think I would encounter what happened at work. That is probably what made it hard. There was one time, because I did work in a medical center, there was one time that when I went to go collect all of the discharge papers on the patients who had left, I went to one of the floors that I was collecting the papers from. And when I got there, nobody was talking at all, and none of them in that unit even know who I am. I mean, they knew I was a medical records person, but they didn't know me. They didn't know I'd been pregnant, probably, and they certainly didn't know that I had had a loss. So I went to collect my papers that I was there for, and while I was standing there checking off that I had the right papers and everything, one of the ladies starts talking about how they have this person and another person and so on and so forth, of all of these different women in their department that are pregnant right now, and when they're all due. And I couldn't believe that I was having to listen to this conversation so soon after losing my baby. It was so hard. And it's it's still hard even thinking about it. I'm tearing up. I had to try really hard not to cry in front of those ladies, because I didn't want them to find out why I hurt, and I thought if I cried, they would know that I was hurting. And if they knew I was hurting, then something would happen that they would find out, and then they would feel bad for the conversation, and I didn't want that. I'm always thinking about other people and their feelings when, I think mostly when I'm having a strong reaction to my own feelings. Unless my feelings are happy, then I tend to forget that other people might be not feeling happy. So I guess some of how I deal with other people's feelings is partially based on how my own are. Which I think it would be true that that's how people do that, with how they interact with everybody. I mean, how could your feelings not affect how you're acting? So, yeah, that's an example of something that was really hard. But I am surrounded with good, caring people that want to be there for me and have been there for me. And I definitely think that what I did and how I did it to go back to work was good. There is one other point I wanted to point out. I hope it's not getting too dark. I should probably turn my light on. Hold on. Of course, I don't know if... oh, I did turn it on. Okay, so... I'm not perfect. There's a lady around the corner from me that is pregnant right now. And before I knew she was pregnant, when she was still not showing, I was jealous of her. I was jealous of her because she was thin, she was pretty. To me, from my point of view, looking in, her life looked perfect. Not to say that it is. I know it probably isn't. Everybody has problems. But from where I stood, it looked pretty good. So, when I discovered, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago that she was pregnant, that just hit me so hard. And the reason I realized she was pregnant is she's got this adorably cute bump on her belly now. And it's obviously a pregnancy. It can't be anything else. You know, it's not like fat pudge like what I've got going on right now. So, because she was really, really thin before. And obviously, by how far along she is, there's no way she wasn't pregnant before I lost my daughter. She was already pregnant, and I don't want to be jealous of her, but I was, and I'm not so much now, but when I first found out, I was really jealous and really hurt, and it was hard not to look at her when I would walk by her desk. And I, her desk is in a room off a hallway that I walk down, and her door's open when she's there, and so I would just see her. So I walked down the hall, and her door would be open, and I'd see her. That easy. But I realized shortly after, I realized how jealous I was, maybe a day or two, I can't remember. I haven't been able to recapture it again, but there was a part of me that realized after I had seen her, that as I was walking down the hallway after I'd seen her in her office, that it was okay for me to be jealous of her. And, you know, the thought keeps evading me about why I thought it was okay to be jealous. But I realized my jealousy wasn't a completely bad or unhealthy thing. I always have thought of jealousy as being a bad thing. You don't want to have it. But this time, I actually thought, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay for me to be jealous. She has a baby and I don't. And it's okay for me to be jealous. My jealousy means that my baby meant something to me. My jealousy means that I did love my daughter and that I did care about her. And if I didn't have jealousy towards this other woman, I don't know that it wouldn't mean that I wouldn't have loved my daughter, but the fact that I have it or have had it, because I don't really feel that jealous of her. Of course, I haven't seen her for a few days, so who knows? Maybe when I see her next time, I'll feel jealous again. But right now, at this moment, I don't feel jealous of her. Okay, maybe a little. Anyway, she's probably having a healthy pregnancy that I may not ever have. Anyway, I need to get past this somehow, but I also need to give myself time. Anyway, then I felt really bad for being jealous of her, even though I have come to this conclusion that it's not completely bad for me to be jealous, because I was walking down the hallway, or not down it, across the hallway, because we have my office that all of my coworkers are in. It's a big office. We have like 13 people in there. Well, to me it's big, but I'm sure there's offices in other places, like big cities where, you know, cubicles. So of course you're going to have more than 13 people in there. But anyway, to me, a big office of 13 people. I'm sure there's somebody laughing out there somewhere. Anyway, my huge 13 people office. Oh dear. Okay, so now you get to see how ridiculously funny I am. Anyway, I was walking from that office, I'm going to have to get away from that, to across the hall where we keep some of our records, our paper records. And as I was walking across, here comes this person who I am so jealous of, with her little daughter who looks to be around 2 or 3 years old. And I didn't even know she had a daughter already. And so then I felt super bad because I'm like, here I am, I've been jealous of this woman who is already a mother, already, in her own right, has been through who knows what, having a 2 or a 3-year-old. And here I am, I've been being jealous of her. And so that hits me. And then to top it off, I've gotten to the doorway that I'm headed into. And her little girl sees me, looks at me, and says, "Hi, what's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Carrie. What's yours?" Because I thought, it's not good for me to answer and not ask her what her name is. It wouldn't be polite. So I asked her, and then she was so cute. She got all shy, and her mom had to prod her to answer me, and which she did. And it was so cute, and I felt so like this big. Um, anyway, even though I felt so small afterward, that experience with that little girl made me happy, and I was happy that I had it, and I was able to tell some of my friends how cute she was, and that this whole little conversation had happened and how cute, and it was a good thing. So that's why I'm thinking that I'm not going to be quite so jealous of this lady anymore. That I've grown, and that's important, I think. It's important when you've gone through such a painful thing. If you aren't growing somehow through a process like this of grieving and going through the healing process, then you probably aren't going to heal. That's what I truly think. And do I think that things will happen years from now that are going to make me hurt when they happen? Absolutely. I have heard that there are women who have had their babies missing from their lives for 50 years, and it still gets them right here in the heart. And some of them longer, and they still miss those babies. So, is it going to hurt for the rest of my life? You bet. But you know what? I'm going to be stronger for it. And if you're watching this because you've had a loss, if you persevere and if you keep going, you're going to be stronger for it too. I really believe that. Anyway, that's it for today. I've videoed 2 vlogs multiple times today. And some of them not today. But the 2 I'm posting or planning to post are from today. So thank you for watching. I hope that you have learned something helpful from this vlog, and I don't know, I guess if I never get any subscribers, I'll be okay. I'll probably keep vlogging whether I get subscribers or comments or anything, just because I need to, and because of my wish for my experience to be helpful to somebody. So I think because of that I want to keep doing it. I'm not sure for how long I'll do it, but I would love to keep vlogging through a successful pregnancy. So hopefully that happens, and we'll see. Thank you again for watching, and wherever you are, have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening. I think I've covered it. All right. Bye. And how retarded is this? All right. Bye.